Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Basically leaves you with 10 minutes each. So Brendan Clarke-Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I was going to speak on Amendment 15, and of course, with regards to the environment, I'm sure no doubt there will be social media graphics saying that we're all trying to trash it on this side of the House, as usually happens. But I think the case was made so eloquently and, dare I say, entertainingly by the Honourable Member for Chelmsford and for North Dorset, and certainly with what we are proposing today, it's certainly something I think I can support, and I will be outlining now why I'm going to be doing that. And of course this all comes from taking back control, and this was something very important for Brexiteers such as myself, like the Honourable friend for Orpington. It's something I campaigned for, and in Bassett Law over 68% of people voted for this. But of course whether you voted for it or whether you voted for Remain, and we know for many people it was also a very marginal decision, we do have to accept the result of that, and we have to work together and make the best of the situation, because we want this country to be successful. And it's with this spirit that I feel across the House that we are moving together today. Of course, with Brexit, it's not something where you just simply flip a switch. Yes, of course we got Brexit done, but Brexit is a process, it is an evolution, and that's very much what we are looking at today with retained EU law. It is a process, it is something that will continue, it is something that we would like to have a deadline on, but at the same time, as we realise going forward, the practicalities not necessarily in line with that. And of course there is a delivery issue. It is something that we have to be realistic with. And the 31st of December 2023, of course, is fast approaching. I do have a lot of sympathy with the comments made by a right honourable friend, the member for North East Somerset, and I do hope that the drive, the ambition and the spirit that he has shown will be taken forward in the way that we address this legislation going forward. The member for Clwyd South made an excellent point. Things such as the aviation regulations that are in there, these are things that we wouldn't necessarily change. So not all of these laws, of course, are things that we're going to be looking to get rid of, and we do want to make a good job of it and do it properly. And I think that is the main thing that we need to focus on here. In terms of the Windsor framework, I know some people were worried as whether there was some underlying reason behind that as to why we're here, but again I think the Minister and the Secretary of State have given an excellent explanation so far to us, and the dispatch box today as to why that is absolutely not the case. And of course this does end the supremacy of EU law, as we have already heard, and we no longer have to interpret legislation using that EU case law as the only basis. And the unintended consequences of getting rid of legislation without having the time to get all those SIs through is something that I was actually genuinely worried about. So I fully understand why the government has taken the approach it has, and certainly with the regular updates I think that will help us match the ambition, certainly that the member for North East Somerset has suggested. It's something I look forward to, and I think it shows as a government in terms of showing the public as well how we're actually making this work and we're actually making a success of the legislation. So certainly from my perspective I will be supporting the government on this. It is a challenge. It's a challenge that I'm sure we're up for, so I would encourage colleagues to also support this tonight. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much indeed, Madam Deputy Speaker.